Let's do one thing before we go into the content for today, just to kind of recap yesterday's convo. Gusten, how do you define what a funnel is?
A funnel is a customer journey and it's a sales process of taking a stranger from not having heard of you to being interested, buying something, but then also ascending to the next thing and working with you more closely. So it's maximizing the lifetime value, not just converting a person one time, but like I said, getting them to buy multiple times through multiple funnels. That to me is it's a series of pages. Some of them they'll go through day one, some of them day seven, some of them day 365.
Love it. So, as you guys are tuning in, I'm seeing the comments come in here. Let's see. Business owners, clients, um, building demos for my agency and client sites, building for myself, insurance company. Another person says building for themselves. Okay, awesome. So let's get going with day two content because we have a lot to cover. So if you are
Yeah,
down for it, let's go right in.
let's dive in. We'll spend a couple minutes first going over the slides, and then we'll dive into my account inside of HighLevel, and I'll show you around so that you can get sort of like a checklist of how to start building your funnels because it's very simple. So, first thing we'll do, I'm not going to start with the questions. We're going to start with the workshop and then we do questions. Awesome. So, welcome to day two of the Funnel Builder Workshop. Like we mentioned, today is all about sales funnels and conversions. Always want to do an income disclaimer, especially because I'm showing you my funnels as well. The sales past performance is not a guarantee of future performance, and HighLevel does not guarantee that you'll experience financial gain or generate revenue by using these funnels. So, what we'll cover is the real goal of a funnel and which one you'll need for your business, and then scaling with unlimited customers without a big ad budget, and how to double sales and profits with backend funnels and offers, sales psychology that make or break funnel conversions, and then how to split test your funnels and optimize for max sales on both the front end, the upsells, and the back end. So this is the old school funnel that a lot of you have probably heard of. And Paulson, feel free to interrupt anytime you have any questions. Maybe you see them in comments. I only see my screen, so let me know anytime you see a question that would be relevant. The old school funnel is what I would call the value ladder funnel, where you have a freebie funnel. So you want to get leads, and I agree with like it's definitely important to have leads. But if, when you're scaling with paid ads, it's not enough to just focus on leads. And I'll show you the cash cycle and the math behind this. Then you see, okay, now we have leads. You want to convert them. That's why we have low ticket, and you upsell them into the next thing, mid ticket, and high ticket. And I'm doing this on one part of the business, the organic side. So I'm not saying that this is like not working. I'm saying this is what most people are referring to when they hear the value ladder or ascension ladder. So let me paint a picture of what this could look like. You have an opt-in page, then they download the thing that they opted into, and then they can click a button, go to the sales page, and then they can buy the thing, the low ticket. Some people refer to this as a tripwire. So you give them something for free. On the confirmation page, you have something that they can buy, like a low ticket thing. Then you have a confirmation page, and then you can invite them to something on the back end where they can book a call, for an example. And so let's say you spend $1,000. It could be 1,000 in a month, could be in a week, or it could be in a day. But if we do the math, let's say if you give something away for free, you're going to get more clicks. So let's say you get 500 visitors. Depending on the industry, the offer, and everything, this could be as low as 100, could be up to 1,000. But let's just, for the sake of math, do 500 visitors, 20% conversions on a free ebook or a free training would mean 100 leads. And then let's say out of those 100 people, 30 of them are interested in the next thing. They go to sales page. 5 sales, if we have of 100 leads, we have a 5% conversion rate, which is pretty good on a low ticket. You can see that you've made $250 in revenue with a $50 low ticket offer. I know I'm going fast, but I have a point that I want to show you with this. So 5 people that you can now invite to a call out of all these, right? So I'm not saying that you'll never book a call. I'm saying day one in ad spend, the cash cycle. Because a lot of you right now, if you want to launch a funnel, run traffic, paid ads. You can just like print money and spend unlimited. Like we don't have unlimited ad budgets, and so a lot of us don't have investors just pumping money in. So we have to have the cash cycle, the sales coming in the same day or within a couple of days of spending thousands in ad spend. That you'll never book. There's an echo. Okay, there we go. So the cash cycle math behind this would be: I spend 1,000, I make 250. Even with automations, email follow up, we don't break even for a very long time, right? So scaling to 1K per day from like 1K in a week, for example, means 7K, $7,000 in ad spend. If you only get 250, that means that you've made $1,750 minus other costs, maybe fulfillment, softwares. And so you need a client, a high ticket client, to pay you $5,250 in 7 days to break even. Hopefully you're following so far. Just put a 1 in the chat if you're following what I'm trying to put down so far. And then we have people promoting the fact that you need an email list. And I agree with those people. I have an email list and it's amazing. But I want a customer buyers list, a list of customers who have bought something and self-liquidated the ad spend on day one. And I'll show you why with the new funnel. So what we need is a unlimited scale funnel. And the goal, number one, is to acquire more customers profitably. Goal number two with this funnel is to increase customer total value as soon as possible. So day one with the upsells that we add. And then to shorten the back-end ascension cycle of high ticket. So I'll break it down to you, a funnel that I have currently. So we have ads and content. And when I run ads, the goal is to have creatives and ad sets in my campaigns doing getting customers for around $20 to $50 cost per acquisition. So it cost me, let's just say $50 to acquire a customer, and they spend around $50. If I can do that, I'm happy to scale and pay as much money as possible to Zuckerberg and to Facebook, to Meta for the ads. So what I do then in this unlimited scale funnel is I drive every click to a paid low ticket offer instead of a freebie. So sales page, pop-up order form on the sales page, so that we can, in HighLevel, we can track all of the conversions per sales page. And then my offer is $27, and then we've added a $17 order bump. And when I did that, 60% of people right now take the order bump. So the conversions are around 3% something of people landing on the sales page who buy the $27, and then we add $17 order bump. It's a checklist, and that brings it to $44. So already without upsells, we're pretty close to that 50. And then I have upsell one. I do a 7-day challenge. So you offer something else that gets them a quicker result, 7-day challenge to learn something specific. And this is $47, usually $97. You give them a discount, and so they're incentivized to buy this as well. And then upsell number two, I have a membership. For me, it's $99 a month, but you can add $97. You can do a bundle. You can do a personal audit. You could do some sort of like done with you. Sell the next thing that they need. And these are things that you obviously want to test. We don't just test headlines. We test offers as well. The front end, the order bump, to see what converts, because you never know. People vote with their wallets. And then confirmation page, total average order value between 50 to 100. Sometimes when people get all of these upsells, that's closer to $200, right? So the cash cycle in this funnel instead is I spend 1,000 per day, and the results is $1,000 in revenue or close. I'm okay going a little bit in the red. So if I make 750, 800, 900, I'm okay with that because of the upsells and the cash cycle now being 2 days, 3 days instead of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And the cash cycle just means if I spend this money, how soon can I get it back? It's kind of like when investors look at companies, they're like, if I put $1 million into this company, how soon can I get that back? And then you add automations, email follow-up. You can have setters, closers reaching out to them, and then you go into profit much faster. So now, 7 days, 7,000 in ad spend means 7,000 in sales. And then every client, that $5,000 client is just per profit, unless you have obviously you have some expenses in the company, but you don't pay anything to acquire those clients. So that's the the math behind it. The goal of then the funnel is to have one path towards your core offer, your high ticket. So when you drive people through your low ticket, you can test different offers and everything, but you reverse engineer from the high ticket of I am selling funnel building. I am selling, yeah, like for funnel building, for example, you can sell funnel templates on the front end, and then funnel building done for you, funnel building and setup inside of high level is the back end. So those clients you get for free because the ad spend was paid for the funnel templates, the checklist, the masterclass, or the book that you sold on the front end. And then you add email sequences. I had a client who had an email sequence of 4 years. Every week there were emails going out. So after they signed up to the first like $7 offer, which was a subscription, they would get emails for 4 years, nurturing and converting them into other offers. So you don't have to write a 4-year email sequence today, but he just kept adding every week when he did emails, he would just add them to the sequence. So how do we then build funnels that convert? Do we use the AIDA framework? Anyone familiar with the AIDA framework? It looks like this. So we have attention, interest, desire, and action. And when you look at it, it makes it makes sense, right? Like you got to get people's attention. Then you want to make sure that you build, some interest and desire, and then you get them to take action. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. So why is it broken? Well, the market has changed a lot recently. We might have heard people talk about the trust recession, that people don't trust claims as much anymore. And that's because they've had negative experiences. Someone said, join my free webinar, and they noticed there was just a massive pitch. So now they don't trust people saying, join my free webinar as much anymore. If everyone does one thing, after a while it becomes sort of saturated, fatigued, and then something else starts working instead. And interest and desire is not enough to convince people anymore. It's not like you can just back in the day. I remember you could. I saw people renting cars, yachts, and they would run ads with these, and it would work. Right after a while, people started noticing this is just marketing, and they started doubting things, and we had to adapt. Well, I never did that, but people had to adapt. Offer fatigue is real, so you need to stand out. A lot of times by just being different. So you don't have to be the best in your industry. I'll talk about that as well. Is this making sense so far? Put a 1 in the chat if it's making sense so far. So I like to look at funnels as I'm building a case. I got to prove something here. I can't just like put out a claim and say, hey, get this thing that's going to be amazing for you. This amazing shortcut, you should get it. I have to build a case and I have to like back it up. So the goal of the funnel is then to show them you have a problem. This is the perfect solution for you. And the better I can describe it, the more they trust me because they know I understand them. And the goal is also to say, like, you've probably tried a lot of different things and nothing's worked yet. And the reason it hasn't worked is because this and that, right? And here's what to do instead and why it's better. But don't just take my word for it. Here are other people's results. You probably heard VSLs, like sales videos, where they follow like a similar format. Maybe a webinar where they follow a similar format. And a sales page is just building beliefs and changing beliefs, maybe removing limiting beliefs that people have around, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I've tried, building muscle, didn't work for me. Well, this is different because this, and that. And then you just back up your claims. So the perfect funnel looks more kind of like this. Instead of attention, interest, desire, action, it looks more like attention through a big promise, and then attention through pain points, call to action, benefit-driven call to action, outcome-driven call to actions, and then social proof, maybe your own results, maybe people wearing the thing that you're selling, or holding an award, being on stage, social proof of other people having results as well, not just you, and then authority, maybe your backstory, the process, the logical process of getting the result, and then you have the price anchor, how much it's worth versus what they pay, testimonials, other people having great experiences and giving you reviews, risk reversal, FAQ to overcome objections, concerns, fears, logical questions. So it's not enough to just do the AIDA. I know people like to talk about that. It's too simple and it's not It's not enough to build a case and actually sell to a cold audience. Maybe the people who already followed you for years, but I want to scale to millions of people with both organic and paid ads. So here's what I did. I asked ChatGPT to analyze my highest converting funnels. And now with ChatGPT 5, you can send a link to your funnel and you can say, study this one. Pro tip, you can do that with funnels that you find. So when you see ads, you click them. I first of all recommend you start saving them as like bookmarks, but also you can copy paste those links, go to ChatGPT and say, study this, like tell me why it's working. What are the conversion boosters, the elements that build trust, urgency, the social proof, the logical process or the mechanism, and the angle, and all these things. Analyze the headlines. And we're using AI now to build funnels way faster and to understand psychology, human purchase behavior much more. So I said, starting my page, just giving you all the best conversion elements. And here's just a couple, actually, a lot of them. I'll go quick. Outcome based headlines, speed, time, promise. So specific, like here's what you can expect in this time frame. Identity call out, who's this for? Future pacing. Imagine when you have these versus what you're doing now. Credibility data. So numbers are very important. One of the things I started doing now is I collect screenshots from people in one of my programs, and I want to have verified data because numbers don't lie, right? And in this landscape, especially with FTC, like you want to be able to verify any claims that you make. Specific testimonials, not just hey, I loved working with Gusten, but this is what I loved about working with this person. Very specific to the thing that you're selling, the big idea that you're selling through your sales page. Authority bio, results, your epiphany story, for example. I think I have that here somewhere. Visual offer bundle, so show, don't tell. Multiple monetization paths, so with funnel templates, I'm showing multiple ways people can monetize them, so that's a utility. Plug and play resources, saving them time and giving them a shortcut, selling convenience, not just a product. Price anchoring, what people usually pay for a custom, now it's pre-made for you. These are big things when you're launching like low ticket offers to cold audience. Repeat call to actions, same call to action, outcome based. I'll show you a few examples of that as well. Checkout security seals, so the badges of like secure checkout, that's a big thing. Immediate delivery if it's digital, money back guarantee, risk reversal, right? Before and after. Again, what's kind of like the bad way of doing it versus the good way, or the old versus the new. Show before and after. And anyone can do this. Beliefs. Oh, I've tried losing weight. I've tried building a business. Um, you have to build a belief that not only is the product for them, but also they can do this, even if they've tried in the past. Because other people, I've been there, right? Platform utility, clarity on who's this for, lifetime access, logical emotional selling, mechanism clarity, personal epiphany when I discovered funnels, teaser copy what's inside instead of just saying like, trust me. And then direct support after purchase, because some people have this fear of like, what happens after I buy this thing, right? And opportunity cost is a big one. What happens if you don't get it? Like, how long are you going to stay stuck in the same position you are right now? And it doesn't have to be that complicated. You don't have to like have all those 30 different elements that I just showed you. And that was from 3 funnels, by the way. So I'll show you a couple examples here. Specific headline: how to launch your first funnel in minutes, even if you're terrible with tech, not a designer, using AI. Master short form TikTok videos with this viral formula. All natural, no BS personalized supplements in one simple drink. The goal is to be clear, specific, and outcome focused. The desire that they have, put that into one headline with like max 10, 12 words. And you have a pre-headline, either calling out who it's for or to backing up your main headline. And then the sub-headline can be like an explainer, like further explain the headline, or saying without having to do this, maybe something they're afraid of, or something they are. So for example, if they're like, I'm not a graphic designer, that's a big one that I'm using because I was never a graphic designer and I was able to build funnels. So without being a copywriter, without being techie, without being great on camera, feeling confident, without having a personal brand, without this. Example, visual mockups always show people a picture says more than 1,000 words. Strong call to action. I love using the word free or instant. So get instant access here. Book your free call. Um, Sign up to or register for free event. Free if it's free. But notice how it's like download, secure, registered, watch the free, book your free. It's very like specific, action focused. Bullet pain points instead of just bullet points. Take when you have a lot of copy, put into bullet points so it's easy to digest and read. Showcase credibility, the thing that you're selling, show them examples that you can do what you're saying. Screenshots work great because they feel more real than when you have like a text that you've written from what they said. A screenshot is more like organic and authentic because it's like, oh, someone sent him this, and then you screenshot it. Old versus new, show them like pain versus peace. It's like convenience, right? The better way. Images, again, depending what you're selling. Offer and price anchor. Here's what's included. Usually it's this, today is this. You can see the security badges, the cards that we accept, risk reversal, testimonial, reviews, who it's for, what's included, what is named, and a visual. Example, money back guarantee, objections, and clarify. This is a big thing. So we use Clarity to, so Microsoft Clarity, to see what people are clicking and what they're not clicking. And we noticed like after this section, after this testimonial, they click the call to action. What I noticed when I went down to the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, is I thought people were going to click like, is there a money back guarantee? But the most clicked question was actually, who is this for? Or does this work for me? And so we noticed, okay, we can just add a section of that higher up the sales page. So this is like why you want to track user behavior on your sales pages. And when people talk about CRO, conversion rate optimization, it sounds so advanced, and you can make it complex and advanced, but I do simple tests like the headline. I've seen conversions improve a lot by adding a testimonial above the fold, reviews above the fold, changing the call to action. Simple tweaks, double the conversions. So pro tip, always A/B split test. Almost done, by the way. Always A/B split test ads and funnels, your one-time offers, your upsells, even entire offers as well, and the angle of the offer, which I'll talk about in a second. So here's an example of an offer. You can see sales page 1, we have a conversion rate 2.27. Then sales page 2, by just cloning this, making a few changes to it, it's at 3.5%, right? So you can see the sales different there. And then OTO 1, so I have 2 different funnels now on the low ticket and different OTOs. And this one is for this funnel specifically at around 16.5%. Also have one at 20%, and then some OTOs have been around 10%, which we then knew we either got to change it or improve the copy and how we sell it. OTO 1 more expensive, 5% right now, testing ways to communicate that as well. By the way, this is without VSLs. So now I'm adding VSLs. Sometimes having a long VSL, like a video sales letter, a sales video, can actually hurt conversions because people feel like now I got to watch this 5-10 minute video. And if I don't watch it, I don't know what I'm buying. Therefore, I'm just going to say no thanks, and they click off. So you want to test all these things because you never know. You can't just assume things. Order bump, like I said, it's a checklist. And you can see on one funnel, different offer, it's 27%, right? So the one where I said we added a $17 checklist. In another funnel, it's at 51, and then another is 59. It's been at 62% as well, I think a couple of days ago. So again, always test. Could be that people want more insights. A big thing that's been working for me for order bumps is giving people insights. Like here's a summary of things, like a vault, a checklist, a case study, insights that maybe took you years to figure out. Now you give them, you give your customers in minutes. So here's a couple things we've tested. Headlines and angles that make people click and buy. Don't just test headlines through ads to get people to click because you might be targeting the wrong people. You want to see if they click and buy. Change the order form from a different page to a pop-up order form of the sales page, and that increased conversions. And then I did a funny, kind of weird test where I took a sales page and I deleted like most of it, and I made uh, a headline at the top. I put a visual of me and the offer, which was funnel templates, and then I did an offer stack, and then I did FAQ, like sections of what's included, who's this for, and just a bunch of text with like explaining it. Obviously, I cleaned up the design and everything, but this one is performing around that same mark, 3.5%. So one of the best performing. And before that, we were at 2% something, which was already okay. But always test, because I was like, why aren't people buying more on the first one? And I looked at it, and I'm like, they still have questions of what's inside, what's this bundle. And so you can't just assume that people, you can never assume that people know what's included. You got to tell them and who it's for, what's included, why do I need this, so on and so forth. And so emotional in terms of like the direct response copy, but logical in terms of the questions they're asking themselves. And then my other bundle was 47, and it's worth, sometimes we think, oh, it's easily worth 200, so I'll do 100. But then when we started running ads to it, we noticed conversions at 47 were super low. And so we changed it to 27. For you, it might be like, well, it's the same thing, but you got to, again, test. I've also seen people have low ticket offers increase conversions from going up in price because of the perception of the product. They went from 17 to 37 and their conversions increased. And then teaser copy, showing them what's inside instead of trust me, bro. So for example, a couple years ago, I had a client where we did a book funnel, and most of the copy was like teaser copy from the book. Chapter 1, you're going to learn this. And we broke it down into copy, like why you need it. And so it was more curiosity based. So now they wanted to buy the book. It was free plus shipping. So super low ticket. So it was more curiosity based, and that worked really well. And had great conversions. That one was around 10%. Maybe I need to launch a low ticket book funnel instead of my templates. Well, you want to have multiple ones if you can. So with that, maybe do a couple questions, and then we go into high level and play around a little bit. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. Well, I had a lot of different thoughts and discussions and questions in mind, but I wanted to just get out of the way and let you kind of,
Yeah.
share your thoughts here. What are some takeaways you guys and gals have had so far from what we just shared? We have so much more content to go through, just so you're aware. We wanted to just review this together in the beginning. What are some takeaways you've had so far? I'm going to go through some of the comments here and just kind of get a good ballpark of where things are.
Awesome.
Let's see here. OTO, I missed the definition, is
One-time offer.
one-time offer. Yep. Cool. As I'm seeing comments come in, let's see. Cool. What are you using to track the clicks on the funnel? Well, the old days was like Hotjar. Now there's so many tools.
Well, we're using Microsoft Clarity to see the heat maps and click maps. But for split testing, we're just using HighLevel. Like, it's very simple to just one click, clone the page, and then test two different sales pages.
Got it. Why don't we do this? Let's go in app and go through some examples. I know there's a lot of people are excited to kind of see how you look at it from a build out standpoint and go from there. One thing I do know we talked about yesterday as well is just like you cannot outwork a bad diet, you cannot outbuild a bad offer. Right?
Yeah.
That's something we talked about yesterday. There's no funnel building skills that will outperform economics that no one
Yeah.
wants the thing.
Well, you see, same thing with funnel testing. A lot of people test the headline, and I do that as well. But you gotta remember, you can't out split test a bad offer. You can't do it. Like, you can't optimize by adding bigger claims, adding more social proof if people don't want the thing. And another big thing for me with funnel templates, I can come up with 100 reasons why you want them. You know what we noticed when we tested this at first? The angle. This is called angle test or angle creation, where you test the angle of the thing that you're selling. Kind of like a hook, but also more like the positioning of the product. And we noticed with funnel templates, first I was like, people need funnel templates to automate their sales, right? We noticed that more people were buying the funnel templates to be funnel builders. So when we said the client ready funnels, boom, better click through rate, better conversions. What was another one? Sell funnels to clients. And then, yeah, those kind of like another bundle that I had also noticed very much focused on funnel building. So I was like, well, makes sense. That's what I've been doing. That's kind of what I'm known for. But it was fun to see even with cold audience, cold traffic, that worked really well. So you want to test the offer itself as well, not just the structure of the page and these things.
Love it.
All right, let's go into. Let's start. Actually, so before we go into the split test, I just want to say we have a snapshot. I think after we end today's session, there's going to be a link where people can go to get the snapshot with the funnel templates and everything if you already use HighLevel. So if you have the free trial or if you're an existing user, you'll get these funnel templates. So I'll show you how to set this up and kind of show you the funnel builder, how easy it is to split test, all these things. But just to show you an example of like how I test. So when I build out my first page, I just try to build it as good as I can, right? And I'm like, this has like checks all the boxes, and then I go and I just click. So this is what it looks like. If you go sales page, you just click create variation, and now I gotta attach a domain. This is the snapshot account. So you attach your domain and then create variation and ask you, do you want to build one from scratch or do you want to clone the existing one? So then you just clone the existing one and then you start changing the headline, the price, maybe the social proof, the copy of the page, and all these things. So we have a template inside of the snapshot where you can get like it's a complete. I call them ultimate funnel templates because I've added all the different funnels that you need: the webinar, the calendar, book a call, sales page, order form, upsell, all of these in one funnel template. Right, so you have multiple funnels in one template, and you get the automations, the opportunities, the pipelines, and the calendar and forms inside of one snapshot. That's the beautiful part about HighLevel. One of many is that you can one-click install these templates and start using them. Another big thing, so let's say I want to add another upsell. I can just add new step and call this upsell 2 or OTO 2 and create funnel step. And then from here, I'll just use the one that I just built in upsell 1. So you customize that one, use existing, and I'll use this one, upsell page, and boom, I can now import this and I just drag it up. And now I have 2 upsells. And that took me like 5 seconds. So I'll show you inside of the funnel builder in a second. But first, let me show you kind of how I look at this. So I'm showing you one of my funnels. And so you can see kind of the sales page test that we're doing. So this is 4 different funnels. I'm not running traffic to all of them anymore because I've seen kind of the difference between, if you look at this sales page, right, you can see it's converted at 1.5%, and the order bump 27 compared to something like sales page 2 converting at 3.58 with a order bump of 59. So that's where you test the sales page or the order bump, all these things. And the difference in these, for an example, is if I open up this one, for example, we stopped testing. So finally, why your funnel is stuck at 0.3 conversion, how mine hit 5 with the same tools you're already using, or this one, which is more technical, how to launch your first funnel in minutes, even if you're terrible with tech and not a designer. So you can see the angle is very different. How I sell 5K funnels to clients, very different than how to launch a funnel, even if you're not a graphic designer, right? Okay, so let's go into the HighLevel. By the way, this is my white label. That's why it says my logo here. You can customize this. You change the colors. You can add your own logo so your clients only see your branding. Again, another beautiful feature of high level, the white label aspect. And a couple things. If I give you like sort of a checklist of how to launch your funnels. So first thing you do is you create an account. Hopefully you already have one. And you come in and you add your you download your templates if you didn't already use the snapshot. So you have the funnels, you go to sites here, and you'll see all the different funnels. All right, so you'll see all the different funnels that you get with the snapshot, and you can start playing around with it. But one thing I would highly recommend that you recommend is that you add your domain as soon as possible. So you go to settings, you'll be able to find domains and URL redirects. And then from here, you can transfer in a domain, you can purchase one, or you can connect a domain if you have one on like Namecheap or GoDaddy. You can easily connect it in like a couple of seconds. And then you just connect it to one of the funnel templates. And there you go. You can also come in here, go to settings, and just select a domain here, right? As soon as you've added it to your account. Then you go to the steps. And what I would recommend that you do is you start with the one that you will launch the first. So for some of you, it's going to be like the unlimited scale funnel. So it's going to be a low ticket funnel. You can either delete these or you can just move them down so that you'll use them later, right? I just like to have the ones that I'm using at the top. And so sales page, order form, because then I'll go through stats and I can see the sales page, the order form. On this one, we have both. So if you want to use an order form as a separate page, you definitely can. Again, these are things that you could test. For example, if you want to get their emails, you can have the sales page sell them on the thing. When they click the button, there's a pop-up asking for their email. So when you click this, it says create your account, and then you add your form here. So you get their email, and they're taken to the order form. Paulson, do we have any questions from people wanting to see like a specific feature, or do I just go through kind of like how I think about this when I build it out?
I think first let's just go through how you think about it, and as questions and comments are coming in, we can just, guide ourselves from those discussions. So if you have specific questions, I am looking at the comment section just now.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll keep going. I do know there is the mobile component of optimization as well, which is, a huge part of traffic management,
Yeah.
that I
I'll
think we
show
should.
you how I I'll show you how I mobile optimize this one for an example. So when you start building a funnel, if you add uh, elements like the headline, let's just change this to white text. I'll show you an example. If I
Yeah,
make
let's
this,
let's let's go through your way of thinking first, and then we
yeah,
can
I'll show
go.
you just mobile because I know that's like a big thing. If I go to mobile, you'll see that this is what it looks like, right?
Hmm.
But this is not acceptable. It's not going to convert well. So the beautiful part about the high level funnel builder is that you can see this font size here. It says mobile. So if I make this change here to like 32, okay, I can change the line height. You can see the mobile here as well. So maybe I change this to 1.2, 1.1. If I go to the desktop, it's still going to be the same as the settings I set here, right? Again, that gives you so much ability to customize things on the mobile. And even if I wanted to, for an example, maybe I wanted to have a button here at the top, I could just go down here, copy it, click styles, go down and say, I only want it on mobile. So I click this, hold it down, scroll up. By the way, I love the developers of HighLevel because these are things that we didn't have years ago. And I begged them for this ability to just grab something, move it around without having to go here. May sound silly to some people, but I'm saving seconds every time I get to just drag like from here instead. And they were kind enough to create that feature for us.
And that's
Um,
the way we do development. No matter
yeah,
where you are in your journey, tell us what we can improve and give us a week. We'll probably go build it out and improve it. That's just the
yeah,
culture of development in general.
yeah. And let's just go through this sales page. For example, if you want to sell your
Yep.
own low ticket offer, you want to start running ads and get sales. First thing we have is the pre-header, main headline, and sub-headline. You can add a video here, like you saw in my example. I just have this instead. So if you, let's say you don't want to create a video, you're like, hey, I'm just gonna go test and see if people want to buy this thing first. You just move this, you delete these, and there you go. So let's say you're selling. By the way, this image, if you're like, well, I'm not a designer, let me show you what I found in a 10-second search on Canva. It's a little bit slow, probably because we're streaming. You go to Canva, you type in mockups, you click templates, and you can see digital mockups here. So maybe you have a journal, workbook, you can just click some of these. Maybe you have an online masterclass that they buy. Boom, there you go, customize this template. And there you go. You change, so you delete all of this. You change the image here to make it your own product, and then you just export it as a PNG, like an image, and then you go back into HighLevel. Where were we? Here, and then you just upload it. We've also made, I say we, the developers have made it so that when you upload a picture, you can just drag and drop it in here and it uploads. We've added custom fonts. You can add custom fonts now. Custom font, default, upload fonts, and you can add your own fonts that you buy that are more premium, and so many ways that you can customize your funnels. Price, how much they save, get instant access, trust badges, guarantee, social proof. Offer stack is a big thing, and then explain how it works, why it's better and new, and why people need it. By the way, a lot of people have questions around the structure of the sales page as well. They're like, do I move this down and do I have the testimonial here? Or do I instead make this testimonial here? Test, because it's not about having it like this perfect structure, meaning you have to have first the offer, then the testimonial. No, it's elements of trust. So it's the desirability, but it's also the trust factor, the convenience of it, the logical process. People need to check these off. It's not necessarily always the same structure, because if it was, then the FAQ funnel wouldn't make a lot of sense, where I put all the sections of like logical answers. But even that one had social proof as well.
Yeah, and often less is more, sometimes
Yeah,
less elements and less sections and less, writing and copy and all that is more. Simple things work just, quite frequently, in my opinion.
yeah. So look at this. This is the FAQ funnel. Everything you know before downloading. Step number 1. What is this? What's inside? You can see this as well. This is teaser
Questionnaire.
copy. Sorry.
It's like a questionnaire style.
Yeah. But so I still have like some of my clients, right? Like credibility. I still have the process, the logical process, social proof, right? Review, picture. Who's this guy, right? The offer stack, the social proof, the main headline, and so it's more about having all those elements, not necessarily always like which order.
When we look at this as a science project, Gusten,
Yeah.
do you feel like it's easy to get distracted and test too many things at once, or should we focus on just one variable of change at a time?
I love this question. People test too many different things at once, but also without having enough people, right? So without
Trust.
having enough visitors,
Trust.
like without having enough data. So they test one thing, they get 3 people to see it. Like let's say 30 people. It's not enough. You want to have a minimum of 100 people, right? Because when you have 100 people to a sales page, then you'll know the conversion rate, which is a percentage. So it's a percentage of 100 people. Let's say it's 5%. That means 5 customers out of 100. It's a good threshold to have. Like, let me spend a couple $100 to test this. It's an investment. You'll get a couple of customers, but more importantly, you get that data that tells you, is this an offer that people want?
Another question I am thinking about is a lot of people when they launch funnels, they do the beta test with organic traffic and then they go
Yeah.
into the full on full throttle with ads or cold traffic. Can
Yeah.
you share the how you can screw up a testing on those things?
Well, I would have multiple pages. So you have one for organic, one for paid ads, because organic, people already trust you. So you might leave out some of the trust elements. When you go to cold, it doesn't convert as much. Also, if it's something very different, then you might have to educate them more to cold traffic. Because again, they might have never heard of you, so they don't trust you. Therefore, you need to educate them more, build more beliefs, build the case more, so that the offer can sell to a cold audience. I like to think of offers as they have to be so good that the offer can sell itself, even if I don't know you, right? So if I get a lot of insights or resources, plug and play resources, if I save a lot of time by getting this, then it's not necessarily as important who the person is, because it's an impulse buy at that 27, 37, $47 price point.
Love it.
All right, let me show you. Someone said I thought this was for beginners. It is. We're just excited and we're going pretty deep on things that some of the funnel nerds like me, I love looking at split testing numbers, and it's almost becomes a game of like, how much are we spending each day, how much are we making, um, and which offer is working, which one isn't, which headline, and it becomes a fun game. But let me show you some of the stuff to sort of give you a checklist, and maybe Paulson and I can upload a checklist like a Google Doc to the resources link for those of you watching who have a free trial, or you already have an existing account with HighLevel. I'll give you my checklist, like a launch checklist for launching your funnels. I have one actually. It's 17 steps, but it's not to overwhelm you. It's just to give you clarity. Like, just follow this. I know a lot of people who are very dedicated. They just feel overwhelmed, so they're like, let me just follow each step. And there's a tutorial that shows you how to do this as well. We would need hours and hours to walk through everything. We would probably need a week of in-person event to walk through everything. But let me share my screen and go back to this. So I'll go back to the funnel. So you can see here we have forms. As you can tell, HighLevel does a lot of things. I'll tell you the most important ones. You go to sites and funnels. That's where you have the pages. And then you have forms. If I click forms, you can create forms like for the opt-in page where you get leads. This is what you would use. And with the snapshot, you have these templates, but you can easily just create your own forms. You can customize them. And then you can do surveys and stuff. I would do that organically, or after I have customers, I would focus on building a buyer list if you run ads, just because of the cash cycle. Websites are great if you have multiple pages, but I honestly use funnels with multiple pages as well, right? So you can do that because the funnel builder also has menu if you want to have that. You can link from the button, you can link to any of these pages, right? So the funnel builder is great in that regard. We have stores. If you're selling physical products, you can create stores. So when you create a product here in payments, let me refresh this. When you create products, they show up in the store automatically. So we go to, I think
So
I got a,
your upsells can live in the stores basically.
yeah. Yeah. And you can make it, let me just refresh this and open a new page. You can basically create a catalog of sorts where you have like a menu of different low ticket offers. like an e-com store. So you can use the funnel builder for landing page, for homepage, for a sales funnel, and then you can even embed the store on uh, a landing page, like a homepage. Sorry, I'm a man. I can only do one thing at a time. I'm like either I'm talking or I'm like opening up the
Yeah.
the
And just to reiterate, if you're brand new starting off with funnel building, I wouldn't even remember we had talked about this yesterday. I encourage you to go back and watch it if you haven't. The focus in the beginning is not conversions. The focus in the beginning is to build portfolio, build 10 funnels, 10 landing pages, 10 systems, 10 sales systems that you can go to a local business or an online business and say, I can complete this project. Like that's the only goal in the beginning until you get to a point where you feel like, okay, it's time for me to study
yeah.
conversion optimizations. Conversions by
Yeah.
itself can take years to learn. It's
Thank you
psychology.
for saying that. Thank you for saying that because I am on year 7 or 8, and it's just this year that I'm like going super deep on conversion optimization, right? So I've been building for years, just doing funnel building, copywriting, and design, right? One thing I was going to show is inside of payments, you go to payments, you can create your products here. So when you create your product, you can connect your Stripe account. Also takes a minute or two, super fast. And you can create your product here. And then when you go to sites and you open your funnel, you can go to products and you can add your product in here, right? You can even create it here. Additional options, main product, is it an order bump? These are things that you will want to spend a couple days or at least a couple hours just playing around because it gives you that confidence of I understand the platform. Next thing I'll show you two things. So opportunities is pipeline. So you have a sales pipeline in here as well. And this is a pipeline, a CRM where you get leads, maybe people book calls with you. Uh, you can also have a pipeline for low ticket offers. So you see when someone buys, they come into your low ticket pipeline or sales pipeline where you have a stage called low ticket. And so you see your customers coming through here, and then you have an email sequence of selling them more stuff, and you see them being moved through the pipeline of a lead who downloaded something to bought a low ticket bundle to then booking a call and ascending through your funnel. And then lastly, very important as well, is automation. So I was very afraid. I would say I was afraid of tech and automation because it was like I don't like too many like crazy automations, like hundreds of triggers and steps. And I'm like, how can I just simplify everything? I ask myself, like, how can I, like, what are the essentials that I need? If someone buys, I need an automation to say, when this purchase happens, when this customer buys this product, do this. When this happens, do this. And that was it. So when someone downloaded like an ebook, I have an AI prompting ebook. So when people download that, it's a trigger that says when they download, send the ebook with a short email of access your ebook. I was like, oh, I could do this, right? And then I have the low ticket products. We have when someone buys, I'll show you purchase confirmation. We even have AI inside our workflows now. This is why HighLevel is so good with AI employees. It's happening in every feature now where you can say, like workflow AI, build this for me, an email sequence for when someone buys my stuff. Trigger order form. So you just put which funnel. So remember, we were in the start here, the ultimate funnel template. The page was order form, or the page was sales page. When that happens, save trigger, add a tag, just so we have our email list later. We know who are the buyers, who are the leads, who are the ones who booked the call. And then add the pipeline. So move them to this stage and then email, send this email when they buy. And then you just put here, hey, person, thank you for buying this thing. Here's how to get access to it. And then you hit save and publish. And that's it. And it doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
I
Also,
love it.
let me
Let me
say,
Yeah, go
Paulson,
ahead.
let me just say this as well. You don't have to do all of these things yourself. Like we have an amazing community in high level of people who are certified tech experts. You can be the visionary, you can be the product creator, you can even partner with creators and be the funnel builder with them, and then just outsource these things to people who love the tech. I've outsourced tech to so many people who love building this, right? And I love the creative, like the Figma. I didn't get time to go through Figma design and all this. We'll have to do a different workshop on funnel design or maybe copywriting. But I do what I love, and then I outsource everything else.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to reestablish the point of the business opportunity in this, right? There's two lanes of thoughts.
Yeah.
If you are brand new starting out, what you want to focus on is just creating proof in the pudding, right? The proof is going to be one-time projects of you getting your feet wet, getting 10 funnels up. And if personally, I would just simply go to a local business or whoever and say, can I charge you $1,000 or $2,000 to build out something one time? And my goal is to get this live and working. You're not in the business of converting that traffic.
Mm,
That's a
yeah.
different skill set. You're in the business of completion of the funnel itself from a design
The
and
setup.
launch
Yeah.
standpoint.
You're not
Because,
in charge of driving all the traffic for them, for running the
right,
sales calls for them. You're not running their business. You're
right,
setting up the system inside of high level. And also
correct.
start with one. Don't try to sell them all the features. Just pick one. Some people do
Yeah,
reputation management.
yeah,
Some people do AI voice. I do funnels.
yeah.
You just pick one.
And to finish my thought, at what point do you graduate into becoming like a systems person, right? Let's say you have enough proof in the pudding, you have enough case studies, you've launched 10, 15 funnels at this point, you have something to show social proof around. And at that point, what you want to do is run a new beta of a fractional CMO or a general contractor, or maybe you're the QB of a small
Well,
business and say,
this
here's what I can do.
Yeah, the CMO comes later. Like just like the advanced conversion rate split testing, like comes way later. Right now, what I've done for so many years is sell the project, the setup, building the funnel, including like the offer, the copy, and the branding, but just getting it up and running for them. And I would also say, if it feels overwhelming to get your first 10, just do one. It doesn't cost you anything to do one for free, because if you're nervous, just do one for free and you get proof of concept that this is real, this is working. The client actually values this thing. I was so used to just working a regular job, I didn't even know that this world existed before I started building funnels. So I just needed to see, again, belief building, see that this is a business, this is a service that a lot of people would find valuable. And then you charge 500, 1,000. And then as you start seeing the impact, you're like, this is worth easily 2,000, 5,000.
Yeah, you'll see offers come through the funnels you built that are doing massive numbers, and you're like, oh, I'm only charging $1,000, and
Exactly.
they're
That's
making
the
like a
moment.
100 grand. They're making 100 grand. Like you're like, oh, I think I could charge 10% of
Yeah.
whatever they make. Like you'll build that confidence, and
Yeah.
once you build that couple of times, then you create a new standard for yourself, and that
Yeah.
becomes the new baseline.
Yeah. And also, I would say one final thought is find one dream client, like one that feels almost like impossible, and try to work with them for free, because I call this the snowball effect of like the trickle effect of having that one person in your portfolio. It makes everything so much easier because now you're climbing, you're learning things, and it feels overwhelming. But when you get that client, you're like, I can use that in my portfolio. When I talk to other people, I can just say, here's an example of one we built. Here's a setup that we did. Here's a project that we did for a real client. Now it becomes real, and now you can use that as leverage to close more deals.
Love it. Is there anything else you want to share, Gusten, from a tech standpoint in app? If not, what we can do is do Q&A and just kind of go through maybe any gaps we might have had.
One final thing, a confession. I still haven't used any of the AI voice chatbot or anything like that inside of the high level because I haven't needed it. And that just proves, and by the way, I've verified like sales numbers to say I've done pretty well with high level. And that just proves that your business isn't broken because you don't need all of them. We have the features when we do need them, but find the ones that are driving revenue, helping you get clients, helping you serve your clients, set up the systems, and then manage them, automate them. And that way you can get paid upfront and recurring revenue.
Absolutely. It's not about the tools. It's about the outcomes that you're producing. And if that means to only use one feature inside of high level, then that's all it takes. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need you to use every single component of high level and
Yeah.
you're not focused on sales or you're not focused on delivering the
Hmm.
right type of results, right? It's in all of our interests for you to create the right outcome for your clients.
Yep. Or
So, what
your
would
own
you
business.
recommend?
Or let me just add that as well. Or your own business, because who says that you have to do this for clients? You can also have high level, create your own low ticket offers, consulting on the back end, coaching on the back end. You can sell courses, templates without working with clients and just have funnels that you're running traffic to, like I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. So, let's do this. Let's do Q&A. So one thing I am asking all of you on the Q&A, we're going to spend the next 15, maybe even 20 minutes to kind of go through as many questions as we possibly can. There's no such thing as a bad question, no such thing as too advanced or too new. I would love for you to just type in the letter Q or the word question and then put out the question because I get hundreds of comments from all the different social channels we're live on. That'll help me. So if you're up for it, Gusten, let's get started. Let's
Let's
do a
do it.
start on the Q&A here. Okay, cool. Um, People are asking, how do I get the templates or the snapshot? So let's address that first, and then we'll, because I see that as a repeat question. So
Yeah, I think the team should have the link to the snapshot that has all
yeah,
the templates inside of it.
yeah. So if you signed up for this event and you're an existing customer of High Level, you will get an email shortly, either later today or first thing tomorrow, with all the links around this workshop. It looks like Jordan and the community team just dropped in the comments a direct link to those resources pages as well, so in case if you didn't get a chance. And is the checklist in there, Gusten?
The funnel conversion checklist is not. It's been sold previously. I am happy to give it away for free, just for people tuning in and
That'd be
engaging with
amazing.
us. So I'll
That'd be
find it
amazing.
right after
Yeah.
this. I'll
Okay.
find it and then add it to
Add it
that.
to. Okay. Cool. Jim is asking. Okay, I see Jim, first person with the letter Q. So Jim's asking, can you show the process of split testing these pages? Like, what is your thought process? And I mean, that's a loaded question. Of,
Yeah.
but
Well, one thing, the most important part of split testing is to build one page first, and then inside of high level, just click duplicate page using the original one that you created, right? And then to just test one thing at a time. So try to change one thing at a time and try to get 100 people to that page so that you can see the difference. I mean, you'll start to notice, even if it's 50 or 500, you'll notice pretty quickly if it's like a massive shift, then you'll shift it towards the page that's converting better. You can say send 90% to this page and then 10% of the traffic to the one that we're still testing. If you see results that are pretty close, you keep testing and keeping it 50-50. And in the beginning, even if you're spending more time creating content to get traffic or you're spending more money on ads to get traffic, that data is priceless. So I'm happy to spend more in the beginning, and then I move into optimization as soon as I have more data of like, oh, people want this thing because of this reason, or they want this headline. Um, that's how I test.
yeah, one thing I'll add here, once you see patterns in your split testing, you'll start creating a certain type of product the second time you build it, the third time you build it, the fourth time.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have to split test as crazy as you advance yourself as a funnel builder, right?
Mm. Also, one thing I would add is we test both the winner. We want to optimize that and have tests from the winning concept. But sometimes I just like to test something completely new because otherwise I'm not sure. Maybe this angle works better. Um, and so I run like with ads and the funnel. I'll create a brand new page or I'll write new ad copy that's completely different picture, different video. Right now we're filming and editing a lot of video ads where we have the actual video ad is the same, but we change the first 5 seconds to like four different hooks, and we can keep doing that to see, okay, what are the click-throughs and the conversion, the purchases with these. So I like to test the winners and also test completely new and different ads and funnels and also offers.
Love it. Next question. David's asking, is the AI workload included in the regular monthly GHL pricing? Overall, yes. But if you want AI employee, there are two ways to get AI employee. One is usage based, so you just pay as you go as you use it, or you can do a monthly plan, especially if you're a power user of AI. But I'll tell you this. We just finished our summer of AI promotional period. It has been one of the most adopted feature stacks ever inside of HighLevel. I mean, people are going pretty wild about the AI stuff, and we're getting ready to have our conference here in the next, I think we're 19 days away. And how do I say this? I think there's over 200 new features coming up.
One of them, my favorite, is Funnel AI. So make sure you don't miss that in a week or two. You'll
Yeah.
definitely see 100 videos on my channel about Funnel AI. Let's just say that.
I love it. So yeah, be on the lookout for it. This is a
Someone
great
scan
question.
the QR code. Make sure you scan the QR code if you don't have a trial, by the way. You'll see at the top
Yeah.
corner.
And if you're an existing user, you don't need to sign up for a new trial to get the resources of this workshop. You'll get it
Mm.
in email. Just make sure you've registered for the event. If not, the community team will give it to you. Lenore's asking for a new person. I love this, by the way. Lenore, thanks for asking. For a new person, when you don't have a lot of followers on a new business page in Facebook, is that a negative in regards to drawing traffic?
So when you're running ads or organically, because when you start running ads, you need a business page, professional page. So what you want to do is you want to warm up the page a little bit. So you start posting a few posts organically, even if nobody sees it because it's a new page. You start posting a few posts, and then what I like to do is just boost those posts for a couple dollars, right? Just warm it up a little bit. And then same thing with the ad spend. You start slow. I call it the $10 a day strategy. I just test per ad set, meaning if I have an ad set with three different ads, I'll spend $30 per day. And then so $10 per ad is enough to get traffic start coming in. And you can test to see what's the click-through rate, what's the conversion rate.
Yeah. And don't forget, Facebook is not the only place you can test ads.
Yeah.
There are plenty of other platforms that are cheaper as well. A lot of times we go into Facebook after offers have been proven, typically.
Mm.
But up to you. But up to you. Let's see. Sierra's asking a question here. Thank you, Sierra. If a client does not currently have high level and I'm creating a funnel for them, do I create a sub account for them to launch the funnel through? Or do I launch the funnel through my individual account? I think it goes back to the question of who owns the digital assets as
Yeah.
well.
So Sierra, I build the funnel in my account, so I own it. I have a copy of it, but we launch it in there so that they can own it. And this actually that clients love because if they ever want to have an in-house team, they want to learn high level themselves and manage their own funnel, then I want them to have the opportunity. And I also don't want to have the responsibility of owning their funnel in my account. So I like building it and then I give it over to them and either as a sub account or they create a new high level account and I get a commission for them using it. So you can choose that.
Love it. And this is part of contracts. You can negotiate these things with the customer as well. Some of
Yeah.
them don't. You might be able to catch licensing deals. Can you share 30 seconds on the licensing stuff you do, Gusten?
So the licensing, I got the idea from HighLevel because I think it's so genius that you have hundreds of developers building HighLevel, and I get to resell it as my own. And then recently, I noticed that I've spent years building these info products, the digital products like funnel templates, over 100 now. And I was like, why don't I just let people resell it? So you can do the same in your business. If you have a lot of products, you can also allow people to resell it. I think it's a great business model. And licensing isn't something new. If you look at franchise, it's the same type of business model. It's more collaborative versus competitive, you versus me.
Love it. Neil, I love this question. We didn't go into the sales side of the business too much, but maybe we'll spend a few seconds here. Neil's asking, can you show the DM pitch in the process? Good news, we don't pitch anybody, right?
Yeah, my DM closing process, I have a system that I follow. It's called the three C's. You connect with them, you collect information, and then you close using a price anchor that's specifically for them. So people typically they'll see my Facebook posts. Hey, I love this funnel. What do you charge? I'll ask them a couple of questions. I'll check their profile, do some market research. Market research. I'll check their profile in the link in bio, and I'll want to know what's the offer or funnel that they want, what do they currently have, and when I have the right like enough information, which is collect, I make a two-liner, a statement, something similar to like, okay, perfect. Now I kind of know what you're looking for. Typically, this is how much I charge for everything included, and I give them a price anchor. Since our first time working together, for example, I could do this for X amount of dollars and have it ready for you and live published in just 7 days from now. So it's kind of like what we talked about yesterday. You put everything on a plate saying, like, this is what we do, the offer, the copy, the design, the tech automations, everything you need start to finish. And we'll have it live in 7 days. Shows them, like, I don't like, you can do it yourself, but they don't want to. They want you to do it. So that's kind of my DM closing process. And I've used it successfully hundreds of times.
Love it. Martha Singh, I accidentally signed up with a different email address and I used for my high level account. When I click on the resource link, it says I don't have access. No worries, Martha. If you reach out to the communities team, or if you look in the comments, you'll see the resources link, and that also gives you access to the drives with all the snapshot links and all of that. We'll make all that available. I know some people sign up with different emails just to get notified for virtual events that we do.
Mm,
But we'll make sure you get access to that. Let's see.
sweet.
Someone's asking, Dan's asking, as a small business, if I want to get out of the blocks using funnels, one, what should I expect to spend to bring in a funnel builder? Two, where do I find the funnel builder? Three, do you take smaller clients, Kristen? Well, I would
Okay.
say certified admin program is where I would begin with the directory, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can find depending on your like, ad budget, your budget, you can find some that are just starting out, but they're still certified. So that makes it a win-win. They will charge you less, like 500 to 1500, because they're still building their portfolio, but they still know enough to build your funnel. And you have people who have built hundreds of funnels charging you from 5 to 10,000. I know people charging 25,000, people just doing the design or just the copy charging 5,000. So there's people in all ranges. If you bring someone in, so a lot of successful entrepreneurs bring people in part-time as well. This is where you would pay 4 to 6,000 a month to have that sort of lead funnel builder on your team, but they're still able to have other clients as well. This means that you can message them anytime to have something changed in your funnels, automations set up, test a new offer, import a funnel, test a low ticket offer, for example. Depending on their skills, maybe write a VSL for you, add an email sequence to your funnel to optimize the front to back end. And That's how I would do if you're already busy and you're successful and you have a budget. I would just pay someone a retainer to be on your team. That way you don't have to like look for someone every single time you need a funnel.
Yeah. One thing I would reiterate on this point is the world of digital marketing, to me, it's very similar to like the construction industry, right? You have people that are like GCs, they're general contractors. Often they're like salespeople, right? They just have
Mm,
connections and they get all the work done behind the scenes. That's these GCs. Then you have plumbers. Let's just say we align plumbers with funnel builders. Then you
yeah,
have electricians who are automation specialists,
yeah,
right? Then you have painters who are like designers, right? Then you have cabinet workers who are, let's say, um, optimization people. So all these
yeah,
different verticals within digital marketing are sub industries. Like a
yeah,
copywriting. If you go to a guy like Jim Edwards, he'll probably charge you six figures for copywriting. Why? Because
yeah,
he's one of the industry's top copywriters to ever live. Like these are,
yeah,
specific individuals in specific lanes, right? So
yeah.
as a business owner, first thing I would do is probably get a GC that have access to at least 4 or 5 people I can test my projects with. Anything you want to add there, Gusten?
I would, well, so my experience, it's been like that for a very long time. But what I'm seeing now is more and more people becoming full stack, sort of that pocket CMO, fractional CMO, growth partner, um, that person who understands the entire funnel, including the design and copy. Because what did AI allow us to do? It allows us to learn quicker and implement faster. So, for example,
Mm,
I can study a sales page using AI and say, analyze this for me, write in this tone, use this proven framework that I found someone else. So, like, I can architect together both the sales page and the email sequence and the VSL. And then I have templates that are beautiful now that we didn't have 10 years ago that gives me like 90% of the design. And then for the mockup, Canva gives me this thing. And then, and so people, if they just have a little bit of grit, a little bit of hustle, they can, in a weekend, I'm confident to say this, in a weekend, they can build a funnel, start to finish, as a
yep,
beginner with templates and AI.
absolutely. So keep the questions coming. We're gonna keep going until 12:25. It's 12:18 now, so about 7 more minutes. We got somebody asking, "What's your viewpoint, or what's your view on having an opt-in page with a lead magnet?" And then that goes to your thank you page. Then sending out a nurture emails over several days with your offer for SaaS subscription rather than going straight to a sales page when doing Meta.
Yeah, so this goes back to the cash cycle. If you only get leads and you have an email sequence, turn them into a free trial of your SaaS, then you're gonna go in the red for a long time before you make it back. But there's two ways I would do this. I would either call the leads, book calls with them, and sell them an annual subscription of your SaaS. So now you get the ad spend back. Or I would take the resources inside of your SaaS that you're selling as plug and play system and create a bundle that liquidates the ad. So now you get customers which are more qualified to also stay on your SaaS, right? And you can even make in your low ticket offer, you can say included is a 30-day free trial to your white label of HighLevel.
I love that. When it comes to running ads to your funnels, the number one primary goal is to break even.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's
else
been like
matters.
people call it all different types of names. If you look at Dan Kennedy, like the OG, that was his whole thing. Whoever can spend the most to acquire customer wins because of the cash cycle. You know, if you start spending a lot of money and you don't make it back in quick enough, you'll pause that. You'll be like, what is happening? Right? You need to break even on your ads, at least within a couple of days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then that way, as many eyes and views are on all the brand that you have, even better than organic. And then what you want to do is build up the upsells, the OTOs, and things like that.
Dude,
So let's go.
yes. I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say, so I call this the hybrid version where you have both the ads and the organic because when people buy something like a low ticket, they just met you. Now you have a community, right? You have a personal brand, even if it's not huge, like you're still posting a little bit of content documenting your journey so that people start to get to know you more. And now they buy the next thing without you having to even like pitch them super hard, right? You can have nurture emails with a couple of links that just say like, hey, when you're ready, you can also get this thing. You can also like work with us one-on-one. You can get this done for you. Um, and that happens when you have a hybrid of paid and organic. It's kind of like when you do an outreach to people, but you also post content. People see your outreach message, they click your profile, they see content, and they're like, okay, this is a real person. Like it builds a lot of trust.
Absolutely. Um, we got a question here. When you say that you use GHL for your business versus a client's business, then letting GHL take care of the back end, are you selling GHL or your products or both?
So we both sell services. We sell products like funnel templates, snapshots for HighLevel, and then we also have a white label of HighLevel, right? So people can sign up to HighLevel. I'm also an affiliate, and so I can recommend HighLevel, but also have a white label where I build out my funnels and then I give to people inside of their own sub accounts.
Yes, and one thing Gusten mentioned yesterday is we're seeing a huge world of high level as a service.
Yeah, that's a big thing. If you don't have a business, you can do HighLevel as a service. More and more people are using HighLevel, needing help. That's why HighLevel has the certification program as well.
Yes. How important is the metadata in the funnels? Is there a tutorial on that by chance?
The metadata in the funnels. What do you mean? Do you mean the Meta as the company, the Facebook ad data? Because one thing I'll say there, um, hope I'm understanding the question correctly, is I don't just look for the Meta like click through rate, cost per link click, and these things because when you test a lot of things, like you test the headlines and the hooks, the numbers can be skewed if you just have like, hey, free money. A lot of people would click it, but are they your perfect customers, right? So you want to track from the click to the first sale and also the upsells. Just like I showed you with the order takes, the conversion rates on the funnel and the order bumps and the OTOs. Like you look at the entire funnel and the numbers. Again, this is like way later. Like this is
Yeah.
me like years into the business wanting to optimize these things.
Yeah, and then to the other side of that potential question, if you're talking about SEO metadata for optimization of links,
Ah,
that itself is also an area where you can impress people with certain elements. Again, it's going to go back to
yeah.
testing. Anything you want to add there?
Yes, in a couple, it feels like a couple of days now until the Level Up Summit. Funnel AI will do all the SEO metadata for your funnels in a prompt. Like this is the funnel that I want. It builds out the funnel and then it does the SEO metadata. So just putting that out there.
Love it. Next question I see with a Q or a question in the beginning so I can identify it is where do I see the snapshot example, the funnel builder snapshot, the funnel workshop, beginner snapshot, reputation management template? It's all in the resources file. So if you signed up for the event, we're going to send that out to you here shortly.
Paulson, can they also scan the QR code if they don't have an account, and then we'll send them out as a thank you, all the resources, snapshot, the templates, and everything.
Yeah, yeah. They just need to jump into a trial to
Yeah,
use a snapshot. Like you have to have snapshot is a high level technology. If you don't have high level, you won't be able to
yeah.
use snapshot.
It's like a workspace. Like it comes with the funnel, the automation, the pipeline, the calendar, the form. Because I've preloaded it with this stuff, you can just install it.
Got it. Next question. I am very new to this and GHL in general. Where do you find potential clients? How do you find them? Are there specific brands slash businesses you're looking for? This is where I am mostly confused. Started an agency, copy was my first step. Now I want, let's see.
We can't see the rest of the question, but I understand what you're saying. Where do I find clients? How do you know which client to work with? I only look for existing business owners. Those are the best clients. And I know that the ones who are active in like the Facebook groups and the communities, The ones who are running ads, the ones who have a personal brand with an audience already, those are like the lowest hanging fruits that I can reach out to. And they're
Yep.
also happy to pay because they have a budget. They see the instant result of the funnel that you build for them.
Love it. Donald's asking, how can you replace a snapshot in an account? So in an account, you can have hundreds and hundreds of snapshots. It'll ask you whether you want to enable it or not. What I recommend is having a sandbox account or like a uh, blank account so you can download snapshots into that and test out the different components of a snapshot before you load it into a live account. So, is that how you handle snapshots as well, Gusten? Or
Yeah. So the way that I do it now is snapshots for me become new sub accounts, right? And those are kind of like on the shelf. I can go in there and pick something. But then when I import it, there's a share funnel link. So if I want just one funnel, I can pick the share funnel link and add it, like I import the funnel template to the main sub account that I use as a business. So in HighLevel, you have one agency account, and then you have sub accounts for like businesses, and your business is also a sub account under your agency. Sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's just the admin and then the users of the software.
got it. Well, there's a ton more questions here. A lot of them are technical. So, in case if you need any help with just HighLevel in general, you can always go to speakwith.us/success. We have live agents 24/7, any time zone, any language that will jump on a Zoom with you, just like how me and Gusten are online right now. And we will walk through whatever you need help with. Like, so we have world-class support. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed or you got questions around the high level component, and maybe it's just a kickoff call. If you haven't even done your
Yeah.
kickoff call, those are steps you don't want to skip in high level. Gusten,
And then you can also, can I just add, you can also join the HighLevel community on Collab and on Facebook. I'm in there, Paulson is in there, so we can answer questions in there as well. And a lot of other people can help answer questions as well. It's growing
yeah,
pretty fast,
yeah,
very fast to the community.
yeah. Gusten, final thoughts for this workshop, man. I've had such a great time
This was
hosting
fun.
this with you. Yeah, and we covered a lot. I
One
hope
thing
a
I'll
lot of you got a lot out of this.
Yeah, I am hoping that a lot of you show up at the Level Up Summit. I always love talking with high level users, funnel builders, also SaaSpreneurs, all types of business owners. Just meeting you in person is always special. And even online as well. I respond to messages on in Facebook, Instagram. So love connecting with the community. And anyway, Paulson, I can add more value to this, whether that's giving more funnel templates, answering more questions. I'm happy to create a follow-up video if you send me the questions that we didn't get to. Just make a list of them, and I'm happy to help answer
Sweet.
those as well.
Sweet. And if I can ask everyone in the streaming here, just as a thank you to Gusten, as his time is so valuable, please put some comments, positive things that you want him to know about this training, even if it's just, if you're not a keyboard warrior, just put one as a number in there, just as a gratitude. Gusten, thanks so much for doing this with us. I know there's going to be replays in all the channels. We're getting ready to roll out the collaterals that are part of this workshop as well. And if you have any questions, let us know. Again, if you need help with anything specific to high level and you are an existing account or even on a trial, you can go to speakwith.us/success. That is a live Zoom lobby you can walk into, and there's hundreds of agents that are ready to help you live on a Zoom. Go click by click. Final thoughts from you as we close out.
I'm seeing the comments now, so I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. I can't even read all of them. Mackie, Jeff, Claudine, Lenora, Miguel, Kashif, TD, Marcella, Christine, Robert, Anwar. Appreciate all of you and everyone that we couldn't get to. Thank you for showing up. Makes the teaching and the stream much more enjoyable when we have people that respond back versus like a YouTube video where nobody's communicating and engaging. So thank you all. This was fun. Let's do it again.
Awesome. I'll see you in a few weeks in Dallas with the conference. We're
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
much,
excited.
I think we're sold out already, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But we're
but
doing
bye for
more. We're
now.
doing the SaaSpreneurs and everything. So stay tuned for all the events.
Absolutely. Well, bye for now. See you in the
See y'all.
community.